What's up, y'all? Thank you so much for coming back for yet another video. So today, guys, I just want to kind of go into a little bit of detail about my irrigation system. So I've had it now for 4 or 5 years, and I get a lot of comments down below just kind of asking questions about it. So wanted to make a really quick video kind of going into some detail, why I chose to get an irrigation system, what are some pros and cons, how much did it cost. I've got a Hunter system, so we'll kind of go into a little bit about some of the pros and cons of Hunter and things that I like and some things that I don't like. So thank you so much for checking out the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, and then make sure you share this. If you've got a question, please leave that down below, and I would love to meet you and chat with you down below. So let's get into the video. Everybody's system is going to be a little bit different depending on where you are in the country. Prices can vary widely, so just understand that your mileage may vary. Again, my system is probably 3 or 4 years old now, and there's this little thing called inflation that has happened over the last few years. So, everybody's prices have gone up. So when I share this cost, this system was put in back in 2020, maybe 2021, so a couple years ago. How did I choose the contractor to be able to do this? So the guy that I chose to do this home was the same who I chose to do my previous home. So this will be the second or third system that he's put in for me. Came highly recommended the first time, and then once I saw his craftsmanship and the work that he did, I just knew if I ever put in another system, he was going to be my guy. So he has about 30 years experience in the golf course arena. He was a superintendent for a local well-known golf course and had a lot of familiarity with irrigation. I mean, he was putting in systems for 27 hole golf courses with 4-inch lines, and talked to some people in the area. He came highly recommended. So hopefully you can find somebody similar to that, but with his qualifications, I just knew that he was going to put in a rock solid system. And so he was really nice. He talked to me about, the first time when I put in my first system, he just talked to me about, what he believed, and I really just trusted his judgment. He highly recommended Hunter, and so, I mean, dude's got 30 years experience. I just went with that. So, and now that I have Hunter, could not be happier with the product. So let me tell you a little bit, for those of you that are new, about my lawn. So I have a 20,000 square foot lawn here in Western North Carolina. It is a turf type tall fescue lawn. I've got a front yard. Basically, my lawn is broken up into 2 halves. I've got a 10,000 square foot front yard and a 10,000 square foot backyard. And I break those into 4 segments, so 5,000 square feet apiece. The first thing that the contractor did was walk the lawn with me, just make sure that it was going to be a good fit. Not every lawn is made for an irrigation system with trees and roots and concrete. And I know, again, everybody's mileage varies. And the second thing he did once he came out was we talked about getting a water meter installed. And I'll go over towards the end of the video, just kind of break down the cost of everything. But the local city, you have the option here to do a separate water meter. My previous home, I did not do a water meter, but this one I chose to. And so basically what that does is I don't have to pay sewer on my water. So when I get my water bill, I get a separate water bill just for the irrigation system and don't have to pay any sewer for that. So the rates are significantly less. I think, if you pay $1 for water, you pay $4 for sewer. So that's really where it gets expensive. So the city here gives us a really nice break for irrigation systems. So the city came out, put in a separate water meter, and then the first thing he did was a test. He did a gallons per minute test to find out, just to make sure that I was going to have plenty of flow, and then talk about how many heads he was going to put on each zone. And then once that happened, he scheduled it, ordered all the parts, ordered everything, and then came out and with a trencher. Took about, I think the whole project itself probably took 7 or 8 days, start to finish. I came out with a trencher. That probably took the longest, just kind of trenching all the lines up and back and forth. And he measured everything out. And one thing that he wanted to make sure, which any irrigation contractor, you got to make sure you get head-to-head coverage, and I'll kind of show you what that means, but make sure you get good head-to-head coverage, which it took 40 hunter heads to cover my lawn at the right gallons per minute. So all those math calculations he did, and again, I put it in his hands, and he did a great job. So separate water meter, water test, dug the trenches, laid down 1-inch pipe. Like I said, I've got 8 hunter valves, 40 hunter I-20 heads throughout the lawn. So broken up into 8 different zones, and a hunter Wi-Fi controller, and I'll show you guys that here in just a minute. So after he got all the pipe laid, all the wires laid, again, I said that took probably 7 or 8 days. It probably only took another 2.5 days to just lay the pipe and get everything, you know, laid out. One of the really convenient things that I decided to work with him on is the timing of the project. I knew I was going to kind of grade everything out. Obviously the trenching really kind of destroys the lawn a little bit. And so he just, you know, we planned it mid to late September so that I could, you know, have my irrigation system in and then be able to put in some seed. All right, so my controller is located in the garage, and this is the rain sensor. It's called a rain click. And so this is what sends the signal outside if it gets getting rain. So this is the Hunter HydroWise controller, and I'll be honest, I don't even really use this. I just have an app on my phone that you can download, and everything interfaces through that. But if you wanted to, say you didn't want to do the app, you could certainly use this. Just flow through all your zones and set your times and all that stuff. So just wanted to show you kind of what the Hunter HydroWise controller looks like with the rain click attached to it. All right, so here we have the main app pulled up, and you can see the different zones listed. You can see the weather forecast. You can see the rain sensor is not active. All just really great information that you can see just from the main landing page. And here are the different zones. You can set, you know, the amount of time that it soaks by zone. Again, ton of customization in that. Scroll to the next page. You can look at, you know, just the different programs. So I broke mine into front yard and backyard, set the watering times, schedule, all that good stuff. You can even click on individual zones and set the exact run time that you're looking for and hit start. There's a lot of interfacing from, you know, schedules and how long you've watered, how many times you've watered each month. You can load different reports. Just, again, ton of information. A lot of stuff I honestly don't even really use. Let's go back to the lawn and talk about how to customize. So you can imagine when the system's on and it's throwing, you know, left and right and throwing back and forth, you know, you may get areas in the lawn like up here. You get, you know, I've got a head positioned right here, and I've got a head up here, and then I've got another one out here. And so this area of the lawn really gets nice and wet because you've got 3 heads overlapping in this area. But out here in the middle, I've only got a head here and a head here. So this area, you know, what you can do is adjust these gallons per minute so that each head only puts out a certain amount of water, so that as the system runs for the given amount of time, this area of the lawn gets the same amount of water as this area of the lawn. And the way you control that is with these nozzles. So each one of these nozzles, let's see if it'll focus here, has different gallons per minute. So everything from 4.5 gallons per minute, 2.5. These say LA on them. I don't know if you can see that, but it says LA on it. So LA just stands arcing or low arch. And then the blue ones here are just normal. So he adjusted all those, put all those in there so that everything, you know, flows correctly. So I'm gonna fire up the system real quick and show you one of the biggest benefits of having a Hunter head that I love the most. So let me fire up the system, get it running, and then I'll show you, bring you guys a little bit closer and kind of show you why I love Hunter heads. All right, so I've got the system turned on, just running one of my zones here. And I'll bring you guys in a little bit closer. So as you can see, this nozzle is spraying, and it comes with a key. And what's really cool is you can adjust the throw distance by putting your key down in here, and it'll break up the stream. So you just twist that. and it'll kind of break up the stream like that. There's a little pin in there. And then the really cool thing is I can insert it into here, and I can actually turn off, I can completely turn off this head. And so if I needed to service this head, let's say I wanted to change one of these nozzles out for some reason, or I needed to repair it, or let's say, you know, maybe this area of the lawn is just getting too much water. And so by shutting off that head, now I can really dial it in. You know, I have that issue actually up at the front of the lawn, up all the way in the front of the lawn, that gets a lot of water. So typically the way the sun shines, you know, I just turn off that head and works great. So let's turn this back on. And I want to show you one thing you really need to know about irrigation systems, so or just particularly Hunter. So the most important thing you need to know about Hunter heads is everything starts by going to the right. So the head will spin 360 degrees if you were to open this up, but it always starts at one particular spot. And so that's as far right as that system will go. And then when you adjust it, when you go to the left, I've got it to stop right down the edge of the driveway. So it fires right down the edge of the driveway. And say I wanted to close that up, say I wanted to shoot a little bit less of the driveway. Come and we just dial this, turn this in here. And now it'll still throw all the way to the right the same, but now it stops just short of the driveway. See that? So if I wanted to open that back up and maybe say I wanted it to throw even, you know, say past the driveway and maybe come across or whatever. So anyway, it just gives you all the different control. I can shut this head off individually. I can adjust the throw. With these nozzles, I can really control the amount of water coming out. So, you know, just really gives you all kinds of flexibility. Love that about the the Hunter heads. And these are the I-20s. Not all the Hunter heads do this, but the I-20s do. So I just wanted to make this video for you guys just in case, you know, maybe you're thinking about getting an irrigation system and maybe looking into it, or just starting the process, or, you know, just didn't know, you know, kind of where to start or what to look for. You can always leave me a comment down below, ask a question. I'd be happy to answer it for you. But let's talk about some of the pros and cons of a system, of an irrigation system. So obviously the biggest pro, and it's really why you're paying for an irrigation system, is the convenience factor. You know, I don't have to drag a hose. I get to water early. I can really just control, you know, my water and don't even have to think about it. And that really leads into the first con of having an irrigation system is it's really easy to water. It seems like watering is always at your fingertips, so you're always tempted to water. And so most people who have an irrigation system honestly overwater and deal with other issues because of that rather than underwatering. So yes, it's convenient, but you have to kind of limit yourself because you'll end up overwatering or watering more frequently than you really need to. Obviously, another one is the cost, and we'll go into that in just a minute. They are very expensive systems. Again, very convenient, but also very expensive. And really the only other con, I guess I would say, is at the end of the season, you do have to winterize your system. So if you could do that yourself, it's very easy to do. And I will make a video later on in the year showing you guys how to winterize a system. But you know, you have to winterize it because if those pipes freeze, you know, you end up getting, you could get a lot of damage into your system. So got to winterize it. You can pay a service to do that if you want, but you know, again, that's just another con, another added cost. So let's talk about cost for just a second. So total cost, again, your mileage may vary. And again, these prices were back in 2020. So lots have changed since then. Was $5,700 for the whole system. So that was 8 zones, like I talked about, everything, the controller, everything, $5,700 for him to put in the system. And that did not include the city coming out to put in that water meter. And so that's $700, just over $700 a zone for a system. And then again, the water meter to be put in was $2,100.70. So again, that's a lot of money to be able to water. You know, and you know, for me in my situation, the extra water meter wasn't necessary, but you know, I planned on being in this house for a long time, and you know, eventually, you know, I will lap myself as far as having to pay for that sewer. So just go ahead and bite the bullet now, and then eventually after 4 or 5 years, it'll end up paying for itself. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. I know this is kind of a boring type video. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. But if you guys have a question, please feel free to leave me down and below in the comment section. I'd love to answer that if you've got one. Thank you so much for watching the video. My name is Devin, the DIY Lawn Coach. Have a great day, and I can't wait to see you in the lawn.